What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Roots and Wings podcast. So our focus is to help you become undeniable either by yourself or as a couple. Okay. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about masculinity. I think Charlie's got some questions prepared. And we're going to do another episode talking about femininity. Is that the right word?
Feminism.
Feminism. Probably. The feminine energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, let's get right into it. First of all, I want to shout out everyone who's supporting the channel and sharing it. This is organic growth. So please, if you do like the content, you take any value, you chuckle, you smile, share it with people on your story mode, subscribe, and it means a lot to us. So let's get into it.
So firstly, I think both extremely important topics for obvious reasons, which is why we want to do 2 episodes in particular and give them both their own space. So firing straight off with the question, do you think there's actually a crisis of masculinity happening, or is that phrase doing more harm than good?
I think crisis is a bit extreme, but I do think there's need for information on how to be a man, what to accept, what to not, what to not accept, what your roles are. I'm talking general. Obviously, there's always going to be people that want different things and whatever. I'm talking from, we can only give our perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think in general, I think if the man plays the masculine role, or someone in the couple plays the masculine energy, and the other person has the feminine energy, it works. And I think masculine men are really the men that built everything. They built America, UK. Like it's always masculine men that have gone ahead and done big things. And whenever there's any crisis, there's any extreme circumstances, we look for masculine men. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know whether it's a crisis, but I do think there needs to be, from my personal experience over the last decade, there are a lot of soft men. There are a lot of people that can't stick to a diet for 30 days. There are a lot of people that are excited about something one day, they're not the next. There's a lot of men that are afraid of the opinions of their pals that they still drink in the pub with. They care about their work colleagues' opinions versus the happiness of their wife. There's a lot of that, a lot. So I do believe the true masculine man is rare, mm-hmm. to be honest. Which is why we do these things. Do you know what I mean? 100%. I think there needs to be more men out there that actually know how to lock in.
Right. And actually, this next question is one of the reasons why we wanted to set up our podcast. And we also have some more exciting news coming very soon about more things that we're going to be doing. But where do you get guidance on how to be a man today? And do you trust the source?
Where do I get guidance? Where do people get guidance?
Where do you get guidance? Where does anyone?
Anything like social media, YouTube. Like I'm very particular with who I listen to. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm very big on results. So who do you trust? Well, you trust people that actually know what they're talking about based off of results.
Right. Like,
why should people listen to us? Well, we say at the start of most videos, and if you're on my YouTube, that we've basically come from nothing. If you listen to the last podcast, we talk about how when Charlie met me, I had no bed. We've both come from very unique relationship situations, and we've changed it around, and now we're actually living in a different reality. Mm-hmm. That's why people can listen to us, because we've got that credibility. So it's like the same when it comes to like whoever I'm going to, I'm like, okay, are they in good shape physically? Are they making great money? Are they in a happy relationship? And then it's like, yeah, it's locking into that. But again, like you said, it's the reason why we're doing this podcast, isn't it? Because you can sit around and complain, there's no good examples, or you can actually share what you learn. Like, we're not claiming to be experts, but I think we're just documenting what we've learned over the last few years. But yeah, I'm big on like results. That's how I started YouTube, audiobooks, books as well.
Because actually social media could go either way, couldn't it? You could be following I was going to say the wrong sort of people, but ultimately it always has to come back to what results do you actually want in your life, and then finding the person that actually has the results, asking them what they did or follow what they do. Or because if you follow someone that has the results that you want, you're going to follow the same footsteps.
Yeah. And there are a lot of pretenders on social media. There's a lot of people that, for example, are, let's say, making great money, but I wouldn't follow them in life because they can't shake a hand. You know, they're not in great physical condition.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really treat women great. So for me, it's not just about like the physical result. Maybe I can go and watch and take some information from them when it comes to maybe they're talking about money on there, but when it comes to actually associating with them on a day-to-day basis, I know that we pick up thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
we pick up energy. Your frequency is what you frequently see. And you know, I've had it before where, you know, I'm out with people and we're celebrating financial success, but we end up in a club and we end up being surrounded by women.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that ended up getting me in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sat there as an innocent man. But because of my association, yes, I was making money, but the association alone, do you know what I mean? So I'm now very picky and choosy with who I follow in life. So definitely pick and choose information from people who have got results, but definitely be careful with like how much time and where else you're following them as well.
Well, and it goes back to the saying, you become the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you've got to be careful of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think men are allowed to talk about being lonely, broke, or scared, or are scared without it being seen as entitlement?
I think they're allowed. It's just, again, a lot of people go to the wrong people. Like, if I went to my mum and told her what's going on in my head, she'd be like, "Oh, you got to quit that.
Right.
You need to go and get yourself a job. So it's like, you're allowed, but again, who are you talking to?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you listening? Who are you venting to?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going to for help?
Why do you think that is, though? Because I think that's a key difference.
Like, we just had a situation where we needed help with something. We had a bit of confusion. So what did? We contacted people who are on a higher frequency than us,
Mm-hmm.
more experienced than us, making more money than us, helping more people than us.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to them with, "Hey, listen, we need some clarity here." Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go to people that didn't have what we want.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you're allowed, but be careful who you offload to, because as well, what I've learned is that people will use your quote unquote like vulnerability actually against you in the future. I keep my circle very small,
Mm-hmm.
and not many people will ever know what's really going on, apart from the people that I actually trust.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So you've got to be careful, man. You really have. You've got to be careful. You can't be emotional. You can't be all like. I used to be one of those guys where, if something happened, I'd tell everyone about it. Anything,
Mm-hmm.
relationships, drama, man. If you were willing to listen, you were going to get it. Now I've realised that no one cares. Everyone's got their own shit to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about your problems to the wrong person is only doing harm. But you talking to the right person about your problems is good, because iron sharpens iron. And that's the same in relationships as well. Like, you like it when I'm vulnerable. I've been guilty of like being scared to let you know that I'm having doubts and I'm having worries. But then again, that was because I really didn't know how I was wired. what I've learned about men is that really all men have an underlying insecurity about being able to provide and protect for their people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lion, he feels responsible for going out and bringing food back for the family.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always an insecurity of, what if I don't catch food today? What if I don't eat all week? Why my family starve? There's always that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how men are wired. So it's, if you understand that, you shouldn't really feel guilty about actually having those feelings. And your woman should understand that about men. That's why we're doing this podcast. Like, I'm reading so many books right now about men, women, how we're wired, how we work together, why things work, why things don't work. And what I've learned is that most men, sometimes they don't even know why they're having doubts, if they're allowed to have doubts, if they're allowed to speak about it, why they're angry, why they feel like no energy, why they're not motivated, why they're not, why their wife's not happy, or they don't even know what's going on. So it makes sense to know how you're wired. And it also makes a lot of sense to know how the person you're lying next to at night is wired as well.
Yeah.
And also vice versa. Because if one knows and the other doesn't, it's going to feel like you're living with it, let's say you're the expert. Your other half's going to feel like that they're living with a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Which ain't right. There needs to be, you both need to be willing to come on this journey of growth together. I was speaking to someone today. And this person hasn't had sexual intercourse with his wife for over 12 months. And he's in his 50s. I'm like, bro, that's like you're still like 50% through. You still got like years, bro. You got like 3-4 decades left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to like make a decision as to whether you're gonna accept that or change that. Yeah, you could tell just he was opening up to me because he'd never speak to anyone about that stuff. But he felt comfortable talking to me about it because I asked him, on a scale of 1 to 10. Because it was funny because he was talking about roots and wings. And he was like, I don't think, I'm past all that. I don't really think it's for me. I said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to success, happiness, fulfillment, passion, where would you scale your relationship on a scale of 1 to 10? He said 5. I said, and you're happy with that? How's he got to 5? Why is it not 7? Why is it not 8? Well, if we could show you how to get from 5 to 8, do you think that'd be worth it? It was 100%. I was like, this information is like, it's not us, it's information.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting people to think about their own situation and going, do you know what, like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm only in my 50s. Like, I need to like, you're still young in the scope of life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That's why if you are single and listening to this, it's even more for you. You may not think it's for you because we're discussing relationships, but that was one thing that I made sure I did was I started watching married couples. I started watching successful relationships, like how are they actually with each other and how did they meet. It's a little bit like if you ever met someone that's got their own business. You'd ask them, well, I'd hope you'd ask them, how did you come to set up your own business? How did you think of the idea? How did you, what was your process? And it's again asking people that are successful in whatever area of life that you're looking to improve, how they did it, basically. And people are willing to share.
We met that couple in London. So we went to London and we went to the top of the tallest part of London.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to take Charlie there because she'd never been there. And men, I want, find out where your other partner hasn't been and take her to new experiences. That's always a good little tip. And then we went to top of this place and we met this couple and they've been married for 41 years, together 50 years. And we said, what's the secret? And the guy was like, lots of bunking and lots of drinking. And the woman said something like, give each other a break, there's a lot of crazy people in the world. Once you find someone like who like appreciates you, loves you, and actually like sees you, take advantage of that and make it work. I mean, two different answers, but she said to travel more, take action, don't put things off. If you want to take the trip, take the trip. If you want to go on the date, go on the date. Like, do things. Don't like, all in right. Don't be silly with it. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. Next question. Have you ever felt punished for traits? Assertiveness, stoicism, ambition that used to be praised?
I wouldn't say punished, because punished is like, I feel a type of way about what you've just said. But I've had obviously hate. Anyone who does anything, you get hate. In the beginning, it was actually from my family. Not, I wouldn't say hate, but like more like confusion and stuff. And even now, I know for a fact, because everything gets back to me. I've got some family members that don't agree with how we're raising our kids, don't agree with our lifestyle, don't agree with us paying for this, paying for that, don't agree with that. But who cares? Who cares? Do you know what I mean? You're always going to have people that have an issue. But when you're in this information, it's not about knowing it, it's about realising it. Like, man, like, once you become disciplined, you understand that the world is not disciplined. And discipline is freedom. And you will feel good if you apply the information that you're learning from these podcasts and this YouTube channel. You will start to level up. You will level up in life. Money, happiness, health, wealth, like, you will level up, and you won't want to get off that train. And you become very aware of what's right, what's wrong, what's progressive, what's not progressive, who to be around, who not to be around. It becomes very apparent, like, oh, yes to that, no to that. Do you know what I mean? You could become very aware of it. So it's like, and once you're on that track, and and feel in your heart, you're actually aware that you're on the right track. You don't really care what people think. You actually don't. Do you know what I mean?
What would a healthy modern definition of masculinity actually look like to you?
I think it's the example that I'm trying to follow myself. I'm trying to live up to, which is like a person who like is devoted to a man who is devoted to his wife, puts his wife on the pedestal that she deserves to be on. And that happy wife, happy life quote is actually very true. Because I think that like your woman is really the reason why you're even wanting to go out and win. Your words and actions have the most impact on my well-being, my happiness. Like, people put their kids before their wife. No, you want to put your wife before your kids, because if you guys ain't good, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. So definitely a man who's doing their best to like, have that situation at home taken care of. A man who is happy in what he's doing in work. Doesn't have to be wealthy. No. But he has to be like happy. He has to feel like he's valued. He has to feel like he's contributing some way. And if you do want money, a masculine man would be honest with that himself and say, do you know what, now I want to, because again, the masculine man doesn't really want money for him, I don't think. I think a masculine man, like I said about the lion, like, he wants to go and actually give his family a comfortable life. I did a story about this today. Like, I want you to live in peace. I want you to live stress-free. I don't want you to answer to another man. You don't want to do that secretly. I don't really want you doing that. If my kids want some, we want to be comfortable. Do you know what I mean? So I do believe if the man wants to make money, go and do it. And also, a man needs to be mentally and physically strong, resilient. Horse is making noise. mentally and physically strong. Do you know what I mean? They have to be mentally and physically strong. A masculine man is not lazy, just like going with the flow, slumpy. Nah. They've got pride in how they are, the energy in the room. They're strong, they're reliable. When something kicks off, they're like, but where's the masculine man? I'm over here. I'm ready. I think masculine men are ready for war every day. We're prepared, always prepared. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fit, like mentally fit, physically fit, financially fit, and yeah, that's it really, I think.
I'm so close to my face. If you're just listening to this, there's birds flying past us. One almost just touched my nose. So,
What about you? What do you think a masculine man is?
I think literally what you described. It has to be. I mean, we are also talking about in relation to a man and woman relationship as well, like a husband and wife situation. So, for instance, in our situation, I would always want you to be happy in what you're doing in your work, whatever that may be. Whether you did, I mean, when I was a kid, I always said, I want a man that has his own business, because that's what I grew up. My dad had his own business, so that's what I've known and what I've also known to be successful. And I'm very grateful that's the situation. But I would ultimately just want them to be happy in their work, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
But still to be able to provide for me and our children, so that it then gives me the choice to do I want to work or do I not want to work,
mm-hmm.
rather than being forced into doing something that I actually don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like you just say, they need to take care of themselves. They groom themselves nicely, dress nicely. For me, I like muscles and arms. For someone else, it could be something else. And obviously there's appearance that comes into it, but you just, sometimes it's a little bit unexplainable, because you feel an energy off of somebody. So you get the vibe, if you're ever talking to a man and they're maybe a bit more feminine than they are masculine. Maybe it's in the tone of the voice or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very similar to what you're describing.
Cool, amazing.
So, final question, which will then lead on to our next podcast that will be coming soon, is about modern feminism and just generally your thoughts on it.
Modern feminism?
Mm-hmm. Like, even if I said the word feminism, what does that even mean to you?
I don't know. I haven't really looked into it enough to have like much of a valued opinion on it, to be honest. But I think people need to be, women and men, but we're talking about women right now, need to be educated on how they're wired and how men are wired, and what makes a man happy. Because let's say, for instance, this table and chairs came, and you even offering to do it puts, you won't want to help, but a man thinks, my wife thinks I can't do it. We're wired to figure things out. We want to be that guy that, like, we want to be the person that does it. Do you know what I mean? Also, a man has more sexual desire than a woman, but it's not about actually the sex. It's about the woman showing the man that she desires him. That's what he wants. And I fully respect that sometimes, because of that the woman's not as sexually turned on as whatever the word are, driven as men, it can sometimes be like you feel like you're kind of forcing it a little bit. Not forcing it, but it's coming from a place of no, you want to serve your husband, like a place. It should still come from a place of like not resentment, but I feel like that's where feminism is kind of going down. From what I've seen and heard, like anyone who's got an issue with what we're talking about, I believe personally, they need to be educated on how people are wired. They might not want to hear that, but hopefully at some point they're going to become aware of that's the truth. That's a true statement. So people say they don't believe in law of attraction. Do you think I care about when people say I don't believe in law of attraction? That's like saying, well, I don't believe in gravity. Cool, man. Cool story. Go and read your book upside down again. I don't know. Go and stand back in the corner where you've come from, bro. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't care. So when people disagree with what we're saying, cool, man. Hopefully one day you can have that honest conversation in the mirror, or you meet someone who can actually lead you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think sometimes you might just not necessarily be ready for that information. So, I mean, on a whole separate topic, but I've kind of spoken about it before in that when I was in my 20s, like working in London and I was, independent woman trying to earn my own money and build my career, I may not have been as open to talking about being a woman living a soft life, which ultimately means still really that you have choices. If you want to work or don't want to work, you have the choice not to work. I actually did a quick story today and it was, what does living a soft life mean to you? And there were a few different options. It was spending time with your children, it was spending time with your husband, it was being able to go to the gym whenever you wanted, it was being able to be healthy and basically doing what you wanted when you wanted. And quite a few people said, private messaged, rather than click an option, and said all of them. So I think there are a lot of women and men out there who do need to really think about what is my actual desire, rather than adhering to whatever other people are saying in the public. What is my actual desire? And then if they don't feel secure enough to voice that, go and read the books about how...
Drop us a DM, we'll help you out.
Yeah. Go and read, watch more of these podcasts. Go and find your people.
Find your tribe, man. Because trust me, when you get into personal development, you do feel like you're the first person on earth that's found it. Yeah. And you're like, where has this information been? Who can I talk to about this? And you do start to feel a bit lonely initially. Yeah. But when you find your people, it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
When you find other people in a community, in a network, that are all on the same page as you, that is the most valuable thing for anyone who's growing, because your network really is your net worth.
And there are a lot of people out there that are pushing opinions on people rather than actually hearing what somebody else has to say and accepting that somebody else might have a different point of view. That's why we always say we're coming from our own experience, and hopefully we help other people who are trying to figure out what they want.
Oh yeah, we're not trying to change anyone. Yeah. It's hard enough changing
yourself.
So, and also you need to understand as well that you've decided to change. You've decided to grow. Not your mom, not your dad, not your girlfriend, not your boyfriend, not any of your friends. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. If they want to come with you, fantastic, but don't make them feel bad or ignorant or stupid because you've found this new information. Because I made that mistake in the beginning. How can you? Don't you want to read this book? What, are you stupid or something?
Right.
You happy doing what you're doing right now? What the hell? You can do better than that. That's not. You make people feel bad. That's not how you get to people. That's not how you touch. You have to touch a person's heart before you ask for a hand. And because people who know you, most of the time, guys, 99% of the time, again from experience, the only way you're ever even going to get their attention is by you getting results. You change. Imagine you get this information. Oh my God, this is going to change your life. They're like, cool, man, you look the same to me. You know, when it changes yours, I may listen, you know? That's why I say strangers will support you before friends. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. Cool. Guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, like, comment what you like best. Any questions, drop them in the comments. We've got a waiting list right now in the description of this video for something that we're launching very, very soon. Answer the questions. We'd love to hear your feedback. Sign up to the waiting list. That network we just talked about, we may be potentially creating something. But yeah, you'll have to wait. Stay tuned. All right, let's go.